Richard Branson's business trajectory. I think it started out with selling Christmas trees and then creating a magazine, then creating the CDs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mark Cuban had also a circuitous path, and you just need to start. You need to start. And if you start with the awareness that what I'm starting with may not be it, then what that allows you to do is put you in a room of just experimenting.
Wake up, it's time to be free. Wake up, what's blind, now I see. Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Welcome. It's Jullien Gordon here with another episode of the Daily Jules, where I drop nuggets of wisdom to help you increase your degrees of freedom. I don't care how many college degrees you have. The only degree that really matters is your degree of freedom. Doesn't matter how much money you make. What really matters is how you make money. So today we got a great question from Kazi, and he says, how and why do you manifest so quickly? You have an idea and it manifests really quickly. And I think this is a good question, and there's a pros and cons to manifesting as quickly as I do. I think what's actually inside me is knowing that my original business idea that I started out with wouldn't be the ultimate idea, that through failing forward, I would continuously make mistakes and get clearer on who I truly am and why I'm truly here, so that I can stand in my highest value contribution. There's a lot of businesses that I could go mimic and model, but wouldn't be unique to who I am. And what I'm trying to find is that unique business model and idea that is perfectly aligned with all of who I am, that can actually be my life's work. So I've been failing forward for a decade now. And if you look at, I think it was Richard Branson's business trajectory. I think it started out with selling Christmas trees and then creating a magazine, then creating the CDs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mark Cuban had also a circuitous path, and you just need to start. You need to start. And if you start with the awareness that what I'm starting with may not be it, then what that allows you to do is put you in a room of just experimenting. And so rather than focusing on Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour rule that he talks about in Outliers, instead I actually focus on what I call the 10,000 experiment rule. In fact, I don't call it that. I didn't create that language. I've seen it across the internet, and I actually like it a lot better than the 10,000 hour rule, because you could spend 10,000 hours crafting and honing a skill, but that will take you about 10, 20 years to actually do that. And what if that skill is no longer valuable 10 or 20 years from now, right? Whereas if you actually approach life and business and the world with a 10,000 experiment rule, the person who actually experiments the most, the fastest, is actually going to find success the most. And here's why. If you look at pharmaceutical companies, or you look at investors in Silicon Valley, what they do is they put money on a lot of businesses, and a lot of them fail. Pharmaceutical companies put money on lots of drugs, and a lot of them fail, right? They never make it past clinical trials, etc. But then every now and again, they hit an Advil or a Tylenol or something like that. And that win is so big, that all the other experiments that quote unquote failed pale in comparison to this win, right? And so the fact is that they would have never gotten to Advil or Tylenol had they not went through all those experiments. So I believe that the organization and individual that can actually fail the fastest and fail forward is actually going to create the most success over time. And so that's why when I have an idea, I simply want to put it out and see how the market responds to it, how my customers, how my tribe respond to it. I may think it's the greatest idea, but I don't really know how great the idea is until other people are actually touching it, feeling it, and experiencing it. And so that's why I try to get out, what do they call it? Minimum MVPs, your minimum viable product. That's why I try to get my MVPs out as quickly as possible, so that they can be out there in the world, people can be touching it. And then if I see that there's great energy around it, then I'll continue to invest and do another iteration and another iteration and another iteration and another iteration. So that's my philosophy around how and why I manifest so quickly, is that I want to plant as many seeds as possible. Rather than waiting and trying to find this perfect seed to plant, I'd rather plant as many seeds as possible and let the soil, the market, actually tell me that this is the seed that's actually going to bear the most fruit. And then what I do is I double down on that particular seed. So that's just the mindset and approach that I have. So I have my bread and butter businesses, right? I have my bread and butter businesses from my mastermind to my speaking. But then beyond that, I have a lot of ideas that are experiments, and one day one of those experiments could actually cannibalize my mastermind and my speaking business. I'm open to that, right? When you think about Google's bread and butter businesses are it's search, right? But then you have Gmail, you have Google Apps, you have Google Wallet, you have all kinds of other experiments that they're engaged in to perhaps one day even supplant Google, the original foundation of their business, right? In fact, if you just go look at Google's suite of products, they have all kinds of applications that are out there because they're actually in an experiment mode, right? They said, we got this is working, and we're going to continue to grow that, but we're looking for the next best opportunity now as well. So that's my approach to how and why I turn ideas into actual things and manifest so quickly, is I'm just in a constant space of experimentation as I get closer and closer to my unique contribution, more in alignment with my purpose. And yeah, that's how I think about it. So thank you so much for that question, Kazi. I hope that answer blessed you. Again, this is Jullien Gordon with another episode of the Daily Jules, and I will catch you in the next episode. Cool? Peace.
I hope these mindsets, metaphors, and methodologies blessed you. If you desire more freedom, go to getfreenow.com to subscribe to the show on iTunes, YouTube, or Facebook, and get 4 of my best courses in the Freedom School for 100% free.